goodness for that good start.
Yep.
I mean, I felt like we just tried desperately to stay ahead of them the entire night. But that's a young team. And there were times we had 4 freshmen on the floor. And so I still wish, I think what has to happen is we're asking older kids who have been role players to now have to step up and, define what's going to happen out there a little bit. And I think they will learn how to do that. And we need to play better defense. I figured it would take us a little while to come along offensively, even though we have spurts where we look like we're unstoppable. But in terms of whenever you try to run a motion with a bunch of kids that haven't played together before, it's going to take a little while for it to start to click a little bit. So I wasn't that concerned about that. Milani didn't have a great night, and we all know how good she can be. So, but I think it's more that people are going to do what Denver did to us, and we've got to learn how to stop it, which is don't even pass it. Just get everybody out of the way and dribble. And so we have to learn how to play team defense in that situation. And that's where, to me, our inexperience really comes in. We don't understand yet, how to rotate over and how to rotate down to the shooters and all that kind of thing. The full court press is something that we've spent a lot of time on in the preseason. They threw a completely different look at it, and they sent all their shooters down court, so we couldn't keep people up for the trapping and trying to get in passing lanes and that kind of thing. So that's something that is new to us, even new to our coaching staff. So now we're going, okay, so this is something that we've learned that people will try to do against a 2-2-1. So here's how we combat it, and we'll figure that out. And every time somebody does something new, we'll figure it out.
Okay, but the personnel you have, to work with as you figure all this out, it seems to me like you've got a pretty deep freshman class.
Yes.
From a talent standpoint.
Yes, the most talented freshman class we've ever had across the board. And even the freshmen that didn't play, they're real good. I mean, they give our kids a run for their money in practice. It's just that Keeley, Alexis, in particular, those two in particular played at a really high level in their high school programs and in their club programs. So they've made the adjustment a little bit easier. And Jada McNabb, played at the prep school, and she's just a little bit older, and she's just a kid that just plays, and she's just everywhere. So, those are 3 really good freshmen, Jada, Alexis, and Keeley, and they're only going to keep getting better. So that's kind of exciting.
Well, Keeley seems to override with a built-in sense of confidence. Like, she doesn't seem to have a shot she doesn't like. I mean, I imagine you.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Does she kind of have a green light?
Absolutely. Because her release is so quick. So if she gets a little bit of daylight, I don't ever want her second guessing it because she does have such a quick release. And that kind of puts her in a different category as a shooter. I mean, she's a great shooter anyways. Madison Smith's a great shooter. But there's a difference when you can lock and load it that quick, that you want somebody to always be thinking about scoring the ball. And the thing that I really appreciate about her is that she's a scorer through and through. That's definitely what she does. But she keeps working hard at the other stuff. She's got a lot to learn, but she embraces, I need to learn how to play defense. And she goes to the boards. She gets boards, and it's not like she just stands out there. Maybe if we had somebody like 21, we could have our shooters just stand out there and do. But she's willing to mix it up and get involved. And so, gosh, that's my kind of shooter.
Yeah. No, it seems like it's kind of your kind of class in general. The other two you mentioned, like running down the floor. 1 and 10, the two. I confuse them already.
10's
yeah,
McNabb.
Jumped on
yeah,
the ball. Yeah, forced a tie up right there, or drew a foul actually. Right near the end.
I love this freshman class, but Jada is, if you were to say, what's an Air Force Falcon, Jada's name would be next to it. I mean, she's everywhere, and again, she's just it's one of those things where thank goodness she was 5'10". I'm not sure we would have gotten her if she wasn't 5'10", So but she's a player.
Okay. So we were introduced to all these freshmen, but then the veteran is one who bails you out at the end, right?
Bails us out, yeah. Well, and part of it, I was not pleased at all the way they kept driving to the rim, but I think we didn't adjust well to how the game was being called, and then we got really timid. Then we were just afraid to get anywhere near them, and that's when they just started, going right past us. It was just Olay. But again, a big part of experience is knowing how to help across, rotate down to the shooters, all that, and we just need to keep working on it. But they've had a great preseason, and I'm happy to come out with the win. There was a lot more experience on the floor, but I do think kind of, us being us was what kind of made the difference.
Yeah, or Madison having the touch at the
yeah.
Well, I mean,
well,
the
she
reverse
gave
layup.
up that. It was classic Madison Smith. She gave up that drive. Kid just blew right by her. She comes right down the floor and makes a reverse layup and says, "Take that," So, and Milani having a rough night and then hits one of the biggest shots of the night. So they got the right stuff. They just still got a lot to learn.
And then what's the time frame for Joe?
Hopefully by conference.
Okay. So, that's got to be a nice comforting thing. You have a tough non-conference, but you've got help on the way, which is kind of unique.
Well, and we also have a big kid that can really help us, who's ineligible right now, who can get her eligibility by the end of the semester. Emily Adams.
Oh, so she is. Okay, I was wondering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she's not allowed to sit on the bench. That's why you didn't see her.
Okay.
But she's looked really good in practice. So, and she's a great rebounder.
Okay.
So
yeah,
yeah.
as you go to apply all of this now, to do it off a win, I would
Yeah,
assume it's
exactly.
just so much better than.
If we got to go work on a lot of things, it's a lot nicer to do it with the W in your pocket. So it was a tough game. It was a tough game for both teams. They made a great comeback, and good for them.
Nice way to start a season, huh? Get everything out of the way right off the bat.
Yeah, we got a lot to work on.
But tell me about the last minute, for yourself, or for team, whatever.
I had some big errors defensively that can't be happening in the regular season. Luckily, we were able to come through on offense, but we should not have been in that situation in that game.
But to make the
It felt-
reverse layup,
Yeah.
I mean, that's that's a pretty tight situation, tie
Yeah.
game. I mean, what goes through your mind when you decide to even attempt that shot?
I wasn't thinking. I was trying to make up for my errors on defense, and when I made it, I said, "Thank God." So.
And then coming down the floor, I mean, did you have a plan?
No. My teammates and I were laughing about it in the locker room. I think I was looking for someone to foul me because I knew I couldn't make a half-court shot. So.
But, I mean, you were midway between half court and 3-point line, right? When you got fouled?
I'm not really sure. I felt like I was close to half court, but I may have been further. I don't know.
Then we step to the line. I mean, you've been maybe not in that exact
Yeah.
situation, but you've been in a lot of situations now. Were you able to kind of stay calm, knowing?
The first one I was calm for. After the timeout, I was kind of like, ooh, but yeah, just at that point, it's repetition. We've done it a lot in practice. I've shot a lot of free throws in my career, so just do what you know how to do.
And now, I mean, you guys played 5 freshmen.
Yeah.
There was a stretch you had 4 freshmen and a sophomore on the floor for quite a while. I mean, to open a season like that and still get a win, how nice is that to have some things to learn from, but come out with a win while you're doing it?
Oh, I think it's huge. The freshmen, as you can see, play a huge role in this team. They all work super hard, and we have some major contributors that are underclassmen, and I think that's really good for the program going forward.
Yeah. How about the athleticism of the team? I've seen a lot of Air Force women's teams. I was kind of impressed by what I
Yeah, we're really, really undersized, but I think we make up for it in athleticism. Like, you see Jada McNabb out there getting rebounds over girls that have 4 inches on her, and you got Lonnie and Taylor, who are amazing athletes as well. So we can make up for it.
Yeah. And how are you kind of viewing, first of all, do you know when Joe's going to be back?
We do not know for sure. We're hoping January, December, I think.
Okay, so
Don't quote me on that.
But it's longer than you're
Yeah.
not just treading water. Like
Yeah.
you actually need to establish what you have. But how nice is it to know that somewhere down the road you're going to get her back?
It's huge. She's obviously one of my best friends, so I can't wait to have her back out on the court with us. But Taylor and Jordan are doing a great job stepping up and filling those shoes. But it's nice to know we're going to have one more sub that can come in potentially.
And how many unknowns were there coming into tonight? Just because so many. I know you guys had a scrimmage or an exhibition, but so many new faces playing their first game.
We have a lot of unknowns. I think we still have a lot of unknowns, but we're working hard every day and trying to fight that. So hopefully we can be our best come the Mountain West play.
What kind of debut is this for you? 16 points, and you look like you had zero nerves.
I'm just, I talked to my family before this, and it's just all about gratitude, and I'm just really grateful to be here and have the chance. So that's what I was trying to come out and do, and just make the most of the opportunity. Yeah.
Where does the confidence come from?
Reps. Our exhibition game, I shot pretty bad, so we had a Friday off, I think, got in the gym and just kept shooting. I shot too many, honestly. I just was just shooting the corner three because I missed a lot of those in the exhibition game. So I was like, I'm not gonna let it happen again, and especially not the next game. And yeah, just all with reps.
Has coach kind of pulled you aside and said, "Hey, this is what we need from you. You've got the green light"? I mean, has there been a discussion like that?
I mean, not really. I mean, I kind of know that, if it's a good shot and I know I can make it, I can shoot it. And she just wants me to, work on my defense and, to keep me on the floor. So.
And what kind of, camaraderie is there already in the freshman class? There's so many of you who've made their debut tonight. What kind of a cohesive group is it?
I love all the freshmen. We get along well, and I'm really, really happy to be playing alongside all of them. And every single one of them has something to contribute to this team, either now or in a few years. And, so I'm just really looking forward to seeing us all progress through the years.
Does it help to have people coming along with you? You're not stepping in as the lone freshman. You've got a bunch of other people in the same situation. Does that help you?
Yeah, I mean, we're all learning together. I had to learn new plays in a long time. So, the learning curve is steep, but we're all learning it together. And Coach G knows that, so she's not, ripping our heads off or anything about not knowing stuff, because we're all learning together, and it's slower, obviously, having a lot of freshmen, but we're making it work. So, yeah.
You're from Oregon, right?
Correct.
What kind of offers did you have, coming out of high school?
Coming out of high school, I was talking to a few schools in California on the West Coast and Washington too, but smaller schools. But I realized that through my recruiting process that I really wanted to end up at a service academy, and so I narrowed my recruiting to West Point and to the Air Force Academy. So my grandpa went here, and that really? Had to represent a little bit, but so he wasn't too big of a fan of the West Point thing, but he didn't say anything about it until after I committed. He said, "You made the right choice." So
was he here tonight, or was he?
No, he was not, but he's been here a few times since basic. So he came for our march back, and he came for his reunion, and it's just been great to have someone here who's loud on base and can really relate to what we're going through, because I mean, I love my parents, they're supportive, but they have no idea really what goes on here, so he knows, and I can vent to him about the stupid things that I just, whatever we have going up on the hill, and yeah.
That's so cool. What was he an athlete?
He was on the track team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Dan O'Halloran.
Okay, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Daniel.
same
Yeah.
last name, so. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then having a veteran like Madison,
Mm-hmm.
to take those last shots or be there, and how nice is that I know you got a ton of freshmen,
Yeah.
but to have a few veterans who have been here and done
Yeah, I mean, like you were talking about with Maddie earlier, she shot that shot, I knew it was going in, that's just who she is, in practice she's making those step throughs all the time, and I had full faith that she was going to make those free throws and she was going to make that layup, so, yeah.
Cool. And is there a sense of relief? I mean, when you go up that big early,
Yeah.
could have been an entirely different night had the
It
last
could have
minute
been.
gone different.
Yeah, Coach G talked about it, our defense needs to work, and a lot of other things need work too, but that's just part of this. We're a brand new team, and we got a lot of new pieces, so it's just part of the growing pains, and so we'll forget the defense, and maybe that gap will be kept instead of shrunk at the last minute. Yeah.